Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cha Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirya Nashtiprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Krsna book, chapter 87, prayers by the personified Vedas. So continuing with Prabhupada's purports, the personified Vedas continued. The cosmic manifestation, because of the flickering nature of its impermanent existence, appears to less intelligent men to be false. So again, he's commenting on the Mayavadi philosophy. They're saying less intelligent men consider this to be false. The Mayavadi philosophers take advantage of the flickering nature of this cosmic manifestation to try to prove their thesis that this world is false. It's flickering, it's temporary, but it's not false. According to the Vedic version, before the creation, this world had no existence. And after dissolution, the world will no longer be manifested. Voidists also take advantage of this Vedic version and conclude that the cause of this material world is void. Because they say, before this, there was no existence, and after this, world is dissolved, there'll be no existence, so everything is void. But they don't understand. It comes from the Supreme Lord. It's not void. But the Vedic injunctions do not say it is void. The Vedic injunctions define the source of creation and dissolution as Yato Vaimani Bhutani Jayante. He from whom this cosmic manifestation has emanated, and in whom after annihilation everything will merge. Means that is a person. The same is explained in the Vedanta Sutra and in the first verse of the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam by the verse Janmadi Asya Yata. He from whom all things emanate. All these Vedic injunctions indicate that the cosmic manifestation is due to the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead, and that when it is dissolved, it merges into Him. The same principle is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The cosmic manifestation comes into existence and again dissolves, and after dissolution, it merges into the existence of the Supreme Lord. And then again, it comes into existence. The cycle goes on. This statement definitely confirms that the particular energy known as Bahiranga Maya, or the external energy, although of flickering nature, is the energy of the Supreme Lord, and as such, it cannot be false. It simply appears false, but it's not false. The Mayavadi philosophers conclude that because the material nature has no existence in the beginning and its non-existence after dissolution, and is non-existent after dissolution, it is false. But by the example of the earthen pots and dishes, the Vedic version is presented. Although the existence of the particular byproducts of the absolute truth is temporary, the energy of the Supreme Lord is permanent. The earthen wort or earthen pot or water jug may be broken or transformed into another shape, such as that of a dish or bowl, but the ingredient or the material basis, namely the earth, continues to be the same. So the earth will remain. Different shapes will come and go. The basic principle of the cosmic manifestation is always the same, means the Brahman or the absolute truth. Therefore, the Mayavadi philosopher's theory that it is false is certainly only a mental concoction. That the cosmic manifestation is flickering and temporary does not mean it is false. The definition of falsity is that which never had any existence, but which exists only in name. Means it doesn't have an existence, it's just in name only. Yeah, it's there, something. For instance, the egg of a horse, or the horn of a rabbit, or the flower in the sky are phenomena which exist only in name. They don't really happen. There are no horse's eggs, there is no rabbit's horn, and there are no flowers growing in the sky. There are many things which exist in name or imagination, but actually have no factual manifestation. Such things may be called false, but the Vaishnava cannot take this material world to be false simply because of its temporary nature, its manifesting and again dissolving. So it's temporary, definitely, but it's not false. The personified Vedas continued by saying that the super soul and the individual soul, or Paramatma and Jivatma, cannot be equal in any circumstance, although both of them sit within the same body, like two birds sitting in the same tree. As declared in the Vedas, these two birds, although sitting as friends, are not equal. One is simply a witness, and that bird is Paramatma or super soul. Other bird is eating the fruits of that tree. This is Jivatma. When there is cosmic manifestation, the Jivatma or the individual soul appears in the creation in different forms according to his previous fruitive activities. And due to his long forgetfulness of real existence, he identifies himself with a particular form awarded to him by the laws of material nature. So the Jivatma, according to his previous fruitive activities, he just gets a different form at the time of creation. And after assuming a material form, he is subjected to the three modes of nature and acts accordingly to continue his existence in the material world. While he is enwrapped in such ignorance, his natural opulence almost becomes extinct. The opulences of the super soul or the supreme personality of Godhead, however, are not diminished, although he appears within this material world. He maintains all opulences and perfections in full while keeping himself apart from the tribulations of this material world. This is his beauty. He maintains all opulences. So 6 opulences: strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, renunciation, and Aishwarya or opulence. But he maintains them always, while keeping himself apart from all the tribulations of this material world. He might perform pastimes of that, oh, he's sorry this happened or that happened, but he's always transcendental. The conditioned soul becomes enwrapped in the material world. Enwrapped. So again, entangled, enwrapped. Enwrapped means just completely covered over, wrapped up. Whereas the super soul or the supreme personality of Godhead leaves it without being affected, just as a snake sheds its skin. The distinction between the super soul and the conditioned individual soul is that the super soul or the supreme personality of Godhead maintains his natural opulences known as Shad Aishwarya, Ashtasiddhi, and Ashtaguna. So he always has it, he always maintains it. He just performs his pastimes. Like Lord Ram, he was lamenting when Sita was kidnapped, and he was crying and he was embracing the trees in the forest and asking them, have you seen Sita? Have you seen Sita? He was stopping all the animals, deers and everybody, have you seen my Sita? But that was his pastime. When Lakshmanji got shot and he was unconscious, Ram was really lamenting. And actually, when Ram and Lakshman, by Meghnad, they were put into being unconscious because of that snake weapon Meghnad had shot at them. So they were unconscious. Lord can never be unconscious. He is always aware of everything, what is going on. But it was Nagpash, and Lord was playing his pastime. And Lakshmanji, he is the source of all the snakes. He is the Ananta Shesha. How can any snake weapon bind him? No way. They're doing pastimes. But in that pastime, it was concluded that Garudji has to be called, because only he can remove this Nagpash. So Garudji came. Garudji came and he cut off all the Nagpash, and all the snakes came out, and Lord Ram and Lakshman, they were conscious again. But this pastime was also to break the pride of Garudji. So Garudji got confused. Is he my Lord? Is he really the Supreme Lord? How can he be bound up by a Nagpash? And I had to rescue him? So he got proud and he got confused. What is this? So he went to Naradji. Naradji, please sort this out. I cannot. Naradji said, well, I don't think I can answer this question. Why don't you go to Brahmaji? Naradji knew, but they all had to smash the pride of Garudji. So he went to Brahmaji. Brahmaji, this is what happened. Brahmaji said, no, even I cannot answer. You have to go to Shivji. See, this is how the pride also comes in, that he might be thinking, see, even Naradji could not answer my question. This is such an important question. Even Brahmaji could not answer. And now they're sending me to Shivji. So he went to Shivji. He was puffed up. And Shivji said, well, you met me on the way. Shivji was going somewhere. And he said, I cannot answer your question. So you go to this place. I believe in Mansarovar he sent him. And there is a crow on the tree. You ask him this question. And Garudji, I need to ask this question to a crow? A crow is going to answer? Shivji said, yeah, he is very special crow. I'm very busy right now. So you go to him. And that crow was not an ordinary crow. It was Kakabhushandiji. But that's when Garudji's pride was smashed, that he had to go to a crow to get the answer. He could not tell anybody that, oh, I got the answer from a crow. If he had gotten the answer from Shivji, he would have been very proud. Yeah, see, Shivji had to answer my question. So the pastimes have many, many aspects, but the Lord is always the Lord. That's what it is. Because of the poor fund of knowledge, the Mayavadi philosophers forget the fact that Krishna is always full with 6 opulences, 8 transcendental qualities, and 8 kinds of perfection. The 6 opulences are wealth, strength, beauty, fame, knowledge, and renunciation. No one is greater than equal to Krishna in these 6 opulences. The first of Krishna's 8 transcendental qualities is that he is always untouched by the contamination of material existence. He is always pure. This is mentioned in Ishopanishad, apapa vidham. Just as the sun is never polluted by any contamination, the Supreme Lord is never, let's underline this, never polluted by any sinful activity. What about him getting polluted? Those who surrender unto him, Krishna says, I relieve you of all the sinful reactions. So what to speak of Krishna? Although Krishna's actions may sometimes seem impious, he's never polluted by such actions. This is the beauty of Krishna's pastimes. Just by remembering them, we get purified. So how can any of his pastimes, we might think this is morally wrong or whatever. No. not when it comes to Krishna. For us, yes, rules and regulations are there. Krishna is beyond any rules of Vedas or anything else. That's what he has to show, that he is independent. He is supremely independent. He is beyond the Vedas. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagvat pranitam. Whatever he says, whatever he does, that is dharma. It's hard to imagine, but that's what it is. He's a papa viddham. And second transcendental quality is that Krishna never dies. He's Amar. In the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, he informs Arjun that both he and Arjun had many appearances in this material world, but that he alone remembers all such activities, past, present, and future. This means that he never dies. He is always in his Satchidananda form, always. We die because we have this material body. Soul leaves this body and goes into another material body. Krishna never has a material body. There is no question of death. And forgetfulness is due to death. As we die, we change our bodies and forget. Krishna, however, is never forgetful. He can remember everything that has happened in the past. And this past, present, future is for us. He is beyond time. There is no such thing as past for him. Otherwise, how could he remember that he first taught the yoga system of the Bhagavad Gita to sun god Vivaswam? Therefore, he never dies. Nor does he ever become an old man. Because there is no influence of time on him. We are under the influence of time. Not him. Although Krishna was a great grandfather, when he appeared on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he did not appear like an old man. Krishna cannot be polluted by any sinful activity. Krishna never dies. Krishna never becomes old, never subject to lamentation. Krishna is never hungry and is never thirsty. He steals butter and eats it, but then through butter he is tasting the love of gopis for him. He's never hungry. It's all spiritual. He's never thirsty. Whatever he desires is perfectly lawful, and whatever he decides cannot be changed by anyone. These are the 8 transcendental qualities of Krishna. Besides that, Krishna is known as Yogeshwar. He has all the opulences or facilities of mystic powers, such as there are 8 siddhis. So one is Anima Siddhi, the power to become smaller than the smallest. It is stated in Brahma Samhita that Krishna has entered even the atom, even within the atom. So there cannot be anything smaller than that. Similarly, Krishna as Garbhodaksha Vishnu is within the gigantic universe, and he is lying in the causal ocean as Mahavishnu, in a body so gigantic that when he exhales, millions and trillions of universes emanate from his body. This is called Mahima Siddhi. Krishna also has the perfection of Laghima. He can become the lightest. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that it is because Krishna enters within this universe and within the atoms that all the planets are floating in the air. So Laghima means he becomes the lightest so the planets can float. That is the explanation of weightlessness. Krishna also has the perfection of Prapti. He can get whatever he likes. Similarly, he has the facility of Ishita, controlling power. Is all called the Supreme Controller, Parameshwara. In addition, Krishna can bring anyone under his influence. This is called Vashita Siddhi. So all these 8 opulences are always within the Lord. He is Yogeshwar. He is a Lord of all the yogic siddhis. He doesn't have to do the pranayam and all that to get these siddhis. He has the siddhis come from him. In this way, Krishna is endowed with all opulences, transcendental qualities, and mystic powers. No ordinary living being can compare to him. Therefore, the Mayavadi's theory that the super soul and the individual soul are equal is only a misconception. The conclusion is therefore that Krishna is worshipable and all other living entities are simply his servants. This understanding is called self-realization. Nothing else we need for self-realization. Any other realization of one's self beyond this relationship of eternal servitorship to Krishna is impelled by Maya. It is said that the last snare of Maya is her dictation to the living entity to try to become equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the last snare. Snare means the last bind. Last way is binding or entangling us that we think I am God. All the demons want to become God, want to become the controllers, supreme controller, more than the controller what anybody can control. We all try to be controllers of little bitty areas, maybe our family, maybe our, of course, our body we cannot control. Even the family cannot control, but we try to become the controller. So when in our boss, in our office, we try to control the subordinates, and slowly we get this power, this position. So we are controlling more people. Then we can become politicians. So I'm controlling people in the city, first in the neighborhood, and then in the city, society, and then the state, and then the country, and then I want to control the whole world. Why? Because it's coming from Krishna. The original controller is Krishna, not us. The Mayavadi philosopher claims to be equal to God, but he cannot reply to the question of why he has fallen into material entanglement if he was God. God does not come under the clutches of Maya. If he is a supreme God, then how is it that he has been overtaken by impious activities and thereby subjected to the tribulations of the law of karma? When the Mayavadis are asked about this, they cannot properly answer. The speculation that one is equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is another symptom of sinful life. One cannot take to Krishna consciousness unless one is completely freed from all sinful activities. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. The very fact that the Mayavadi claims to be one with the Supreme Lord means that he is not yet freed from the reactions of sinful activities. Very fact that the Mayavadi claims to be one, Srimad Bhagavatam says that such persons are avishuddha buddhaya, which means that because they falsely think themselves liberated and at the same time think themselves equal with the absolute truth, their intelligence is not purified. Personified Vedas said that if the yogis and jnanis do not free themselves from sinful desires, then their particular process of self-realization will never be successful. Never be successful. Yogis and jnanis may think that they are self-realized, but if they only come to this level that I am God, then as Prabhupada said, this is the result of sinful activity. If they are not freed from the reaction of the symptom of one who is freed is he will be engaged in devotional service to the Lord. And slowly, he makes progress of getting more and more purified. But Bhagavad Gita says this. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those who are not about the sinful reactions, they don't surrender unto me. They don't engage themselves in devotional service. So many things to learn, obviously. But wonderful purpose Prabhupada has written, and we'll stop here and carry it on further tomorrow. See, anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
What happened to that story of Garuda, Prabhu? I think
Then he learned his lesson. Then
what was
I'm sorry, what's it?
what was that lesson he learned from the crow?
For Kakbhushandiji then told him Ramayan, and then basically gave the message, Ram is the Supreme Lord. He's just performing his pastimes. Don't get puffed up.
Okay.
And then Garudaji could not tell anybody. Of course, after that he understood who Kakbhushandiji is, and he was happy.
So this kind of pastimes are played by the devotees also, because sometimes even Guru or some very exalted, advanced devotees do act as though they are dependent on us.
Yes, Prabhupada said that. He did. And he said, I'm giving you a chance to serve.
Right.
Yes, Prabhupada did that. Yes.
But Prabhupada, other times he also said, I am very thankful to you because you are helping me serve my Guru Maharaj's mission. So
that was his humility. That was his humility. Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
And who knows, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj might have sent some of his disciples to help Prabhupada. Who knows? I don't know.
Everything is possible. It's there's a more chance of being misunderstanding things than properly understanding.
Yeah, because we try to see through our material conditioning, mind, intelligence, whatever we have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.